If you've got a Cummins truck, 4th or 5th gen, you're gonna wanna see this video. So behind me, we've got our 5th gen Ram 3500 Cummins, and we're gonna be upgrading to the Banks intercooler piping, or boost tubes is what a lot of people are calling them. So these come in a bunch of different finishes. I've got them down here. I went ahead and just went with the natural finish, just because they're gonna be buried down here, and they are a little bit tight to get down in there. So honestly, once you get them on the vehicle, you're never gonna see them. They're kind of buried underneath everything. But I also don't want to scratch them up. And this is a rust-proof coating, so it's not gonna look any difference than the factory one, but there will be a huge difference as far as our flow, and that's part of the reason why we're going with this. Once we get the factory ones out there, you guys are really gonna see just the difference in sizing. So everything is included for the install. So we've got Banks' silicone couplings, all form-fitted, ready to go. We've got our clamps, so we've got spring-loaded T-clamps here, and also there's some stickers, license plate, frame, instructions, the works. So let's go ahead, we're gonna jump straight into it. So we'll pop the hood here on our truck. So we already went ahead and put all the other Banks goodies on here. We've got the Banks Ram Air Monster Ram with the Super Scoop. So we're gonna have to take this off and out of the way. It's gonna make it a little bit easier because it's actually underneath here is where it is. It's coming off of our compressor side here of our turbo and going to our intercooler. So there's one there, and then the other one's gonna be coming from our intercooler. So our hot side over there, and then our cold side here is gonna lead up to our Banks Monster Ram on this side also. So let's go ahead and we'll start with the harder side. We'll get the intake out of there, and then we'll start seeing what we got to get into. Some people will actually go through here, through the fender liner. You can actually see here one of our T-bolt clamps, the factory one's right there. The other one's going to be up over here for our intercooler. So, but we'll take off the intake. It'll just give us more room to work on it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and loosen my clamp here. Mine's a 11 mil or 7/16, kind of one and the same. There's the boost tube on the hot side that we're gonna be removing. So you can see it's tiny. So go ahead and we'll crack this loose. Okay, so we've got that one loose over there, and then the other one is right here. So we'll also loosen this clamp right here. All right, so got that clamp loose, slid that coupling off. Now we can go up top. So we'll take this one off the turbo, get this out of the way. Also, just be conscious if you still have your battery connected, like I may or may not have. You've got some positive cables running through here for your grid heater, and also right here for your alternator. So I'm gonna at least try to get this out by itself. We'll see if when we go to put the boost tube in, if we're gonna want to take that out, but I just popped it off the coupling right there, and it looks like this is gonna rotate out and down fairly easy. So we'll turn that like that, and there we go. That one I can gently lower onto the ground. Okay, so here is our hot side that took all of probably 5 minutes to remove. I've seen a bunch of videos online where it looks like they take forever, or they don't show it at all, one or the other. But let's go ahead and compare sizing. So this stuff is form fitted. That's gonna be our cold side. So here is our hot side piping. So we'll grab our coupling so we can kind of get it situated in the right orientation, but look at the size difference. So this thing necks down like crazy here. So definitely a lot smaller. So let's go ahead, get our couplings and get them all situated. Okay, so we've got it in the rough orientation, and there's very clear images on Banks' website. They're actually 3.5 inches. So these couplings step down from a 3.5 to a 3 inch. So these things are huge. I would say that's only like 2.5 at most. So anyways, this Banks logo, make sure that you have that facing up when you're looking in the engine bay, like I see here. So it kind of kicks over to the right. Some people don't put that one there, and then they have trouble getting their oil filter out of that slot right there in your fender liner. So I'm gonna get this here. I'm gonna put my T-bolts on afterwards because this pipe is substantially larger, so I want to kind of get this roughed into place. Also, I did put a little bit of WD-40 just on the couplings. Some people go crazy with Vaseline and all sorts of other things. I like WD-40 because it kind of dissipates after a short period of time. It's also not going to hurt anything as far as engine wise. But yeah, if you start putting like Vaseline and stuff in there, that stuff's not going to go anywhere, and then you might be popping silicone couplings later on and fighting and cursing. So you want something that dissipates, and WD-40 is something that doesn't really stick around for too long. So I'm going to go ahead and feed this probably from the bottom up. Maybe potentially this way, if I can kind of feed it through here and then wiggle it back through. Let's actually see. Let's do a little experiment. So let's see if we can kind of meander this thing in, kind of just do a little corkscrew deal. See if we can get it into the rough area. So right around there, there's a chopper rips through here, I guess. So I should be able to get this down. Let me set the camera down and I'll kind of show you guys how I hopefully finagle this thing in here. And let me see if I can wrestle this thing in here. We do have this AC line, which we've got to be careful with. Let's see if I can get it underneath there. Yeah. And then bring it up through. I don't think this is going to be overly difficult, you guys. I don't know what the internet was complaining about. I mean, it's definitely going to occupy this space, but I don't think it's going to be anything too difficult. Alright, so I've almost got the coupling on the turbo here. I'm just going to get the bottom of it situated. I mean, if you had these all locked into place maybe, but with having them kind of just the way they are, shouldn't be too bad. I gotta make sure I get the bottom. I think the bottom's still hooked. Yep, it is. The bottom of my silicone coupling going on at the turbo is getting hooked on the bottom of the outlet. Once I get that to go around, then we should be on the home stretch. Alright, there it is. Okay. So it's on the turbo side. I'll show you guys here. It's as simple as that. And then I just got to put it down here, so I can probably almost get it from here. Pull it up. So I'm just going to get the coupling around there. So let me go down there, but that's pretty much it, you guys. It really was not anything too crazy. So I'm going to put that one on the intercooler. See if we need any rotation on it, but it should be pretty close. It looks pretty much where she's got to live. Okay, check this out. I promise there's a method to my madness. So what I did was got the pipe in, as you guys saw, put the couplers on, no clamps. Once I got it into place, I put this clamp on first, and as far as orientation, I put it out there so that I can actually access it from the fender well, tighten that one up. Next, what I did was I put this clamp on, but I pulled this pipe out, trying to wrestle all of your different couplings into place all at once. It's just going to be a hard time to try to, because you're going to be pulling on one side, the other side's going to be moving. So I got this one fixed in place with the Banks logo up, and you can see it kind of kicks out like this. So then next, I pulled this one out to a decent area, kind of got it to where it's not touching my lower radiator hose, and then also double check your clearance on your belt there. So I fit my whole hand in there, we're good. And what I did next was I got this silicone coupling to where I like it, and I'll show you guys the orientation that I have it in. So I got that into place. Again, no clamps were in place prior. Again, I had no clamps on it, but I got it into place. And then if you look at my Banks logo, this is the way that I liked it. So it's curving that direction. So I got this one on so that, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but I promise you when you guys do it, you'll see there's these little posts here that it can bottom out on. There, you can probably see right there. This one actually has a little T for a locating tab, I guess, on the factory coupling so that it's rotated and clocked the right way. But make sure you're as bottomed out on those as possible. I know a lot of guys end up blowing this off. And also feel here through the coupling, you can feel the lip on the actual flange. Make sure that your rubber is well past it. Make sure your clamp is past that, and that you have an adequate amount of silicone coupling on the opposite side of it. And then what I did was, once I got this to where I liked it, tightened this one. You'll notice I don't have a clamp on right here yet. That's because every time I tried to put this one on, you know, this was pulling out of here. And when I first installed it, this was actually touching the belt. So once I had this in place and the top two where I wanted, then I went up top and I pulled this pipe out of this coupling here. And now I got it to where it's probably about an inch or so to the lip, which is perfect for the clamp to sit all the way around. So I'm going to get that clamp in place, and then we'll tighten that one down. So I'll show you guys which way I end up rotating that clamp so that it's not going to get into our AC compressor, our accessories, or any of our belt stuff. And I'll show you guys how I end up placing that one before we move on to the driver's side. All right, so our hot side is all in place. It's not rubbing, it's not touching anything. I'm super happy with how that came out. And then I'll show you guys where I ended up putting that clamp. So I ended up orientating it right there so that I can access it right through there, and then it's not going to interfere with anything. So came out really good. And then I tightened down the other clamps. I'll show you guys right there. So that's how she looks. And now let's go ahead, we can put the air box in. I'm sure you guys can handle that portion of it. But I'm gonna go ahead and we'll start working on the other side there. Okay, so loosen your 11 mil clamp on the intercooler down there. And then right here where it connects to your throttle body, also loosen that clamp. You can probably do this without removing this, but if you want a little bit more room, 10 mil bolt, and then you can kind of just tuck your power steering reservoir over here on the other side of this pipe. It'll kind of just hang out over there if you want it out of your way a little bit more. So we'll go ahead, we'll crack this loose, move this out of our way a bit, just give us a tiny bit more room, but again, not necessary if you want to work around it. All right, so 10 mil bolts removed, and you can either tuck it underneath the bracket for the fan shroud or over here, wherever you prefer. And then we can go ahead, get this out, and then we should be able to pull this pipe out. Okay, so a little wiggle, a little jiggle, and then this should be able to come out of here. So we'll give it a little rotation deal here. If I can do this with the camera in one hand. Okay. Out she comes. Okay, so we've got our cold side off here next to our hot side, and we can go ahead, we'll grab our pipe, and then we can start getting our orientation. I can also take off the Banks part number sticker just so that's off of there, that way it doesn't get melted to our pipe, and start getting our couplings on here. Okay, so here we go with this pipe. So the shorter section goes towards the bottom, longer on the top, same way as you see here. Shorter section down on the bottom, longer section on the top. There you go. Let's go ahead and get it in place. I got a little bit of WD-40 on my couplings so that we can slide them around. Let's get this thing in and clock. All right, so ended up getting this one in here by doing a bit of rotation. I did take off that silicone coupling and put it on the intercooler side first. And then you kind of got to play this game of rotating it in place here. And then I might push this coupling down here just to clear this so that I can get it in. But let me get a couple hands on it. Okay, kind of got it roughed into place here. I'm gonna put this coupling on. Try to get our Banks logo lined up. Okay. Alright, it actually wasn't too bad. I think we're pretty close, honestly. Something like that. Alright, so I'm gonna go down on the bottom, kind of check where we're at, and then we'll start getting some clamps on this thing. Alright, so here's what we're looking at down here. So we're bottomed out to the stops on our intercooler. That's the orientation that I put on that clamp. Then you can kind of see the Banks logo. They're both kind of pointing inwards, more or less. And then over here, that's where I put my other T-clamp so that I could access it through there. So first things first, I kind of got this one clocked, put this on the intercooler, I tightened that one down first. After that, I left this one loose, got this over here onto our flange, and then kind of rotated it. You want to, like, I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with this, but, you know, I'll kind of explain it the way I like to do it. So I like to put the silicone coupling on, and then I try to feel for that rib underneath, that lip that's on your flange. You want to make sure that it's fully seated in, and that it's not like halfway turned and, you know, cockeyed inside here. Otherwise, if you end up putting the clamp on, if you don't have that lip square on the other side of the T-bolt clamp, that's how you risk blowing off a coupling. So what I do is I put it on, and then I make sure it's in, and I have a nice amount of bite on this side, so my lip is about here. Still left this bellow here so that it can kind of have a little bit of movement. That's what that bellow is there for, to allow for it to have a little bit of play as the engine, you know, rocks around and torques over. And then down there, I'm well past the clamp there, so that, like I said, that lipped portion, the beveled part, is past the clamp, and it's fit squarely in there. So now I just gotta get my power steering reservoir. We'll put over here, put the 10 mil bolt back in. Okay, so our power steering reservoir is now secured, and our intake is now in, so now we're done. All right, so there you have it, guys. The boost tubes are installed on the truck. So as far as benefits and whatnot, debate what you guys think in the comments below. Are they worth the investment? Would you guys install them? The quality of them, as far as I have heard, there's quite a few reports of the plastic cold side actually cracking. Some of the couplings, there's a band clamp that you can't tighten on the factory ones, so I've heard of those failing and whatnot. But having a little bit extra volume, it gives you a little bit of air charge there, so it does help throttle response, or at least should in theory. I'm going to test them out and see how it feels, and if you guys want, let me know in the comments below if you guys want me to do a follow-up video after I get a bit more time to test them, but I want to get this video out for you guys. So check out the links down below. I'll have the links for the product down there and any discount codes. Also check out shopboosted.com. we got a ton of merch over there. And if you guys have Ram trucks, whether it's 5.7 Hemi, Eco Diesel, Hellcat swap 4th gens, we've got 2nd gen content, 3rd gen, 4th gen, 5th gen, all sorts of gens on here. So check out the other videos, give it a thumbs up before you take off, and we'll see you guys on the next video.